Hi there, I'm Andy and welcome to our SB Info series. In this series, we aim to help you understand the world of service providers and the services they provide, helping you and your business make informed decisions that will save you time and money. In today's topic, we'll talk about how to buy your internet service. So generally, there are two types of internet services that ISPs give to their customers. Although their offerings may be termed differently, they'll belong to one of the two types of services. The first type of service is the shared service, and the other, a dedicated service. Now let's talk about shared services. In a shared service, your internet service provider or your ISP will make available a large bandwidth and allow you and other customers to share this bandwidth to the internet. The number of customers who share the bandwidth is known as the contention ratio. The contention ratio and bandwidth is determined by your ISP and may be dependent on the number of subscribers in your location. So in a shared service, you'll be competing with other customers for bandwidth to the internet, and your experience can vary depending on the number of users accessing the bandwidth at any given time, and also how much bandwidth your ISP makes available to share. So for instance, if your ISP makes available a bandwidth of 200 Mbps and has a contention ratio of 20:1, that means you'll be sharing a 200 Mbps bandwidth with up to 19 other customers. Shared services will not come with public IPs. However, most ISPs can give you public IPs at your request and at an additional cost. Small businesses that don't really rely on their internet service as a core part of their business can generally get by on a shared service with no issues. And they may or may not be required to sign contract with the ISP. Shared services can be great for businesses in residential areas. This is because residents are working during the day, giving you greater access to the available bandwidth. With dedicated services, you buy a specific bandwidth from your ISP at an agreed price in a payment term of monthly, quarterly, biannually, or even annually. This is also known as your billing period or the billing cycle. Unlike the shared services, where your ISP determines the overall bandwidth and you share the bandwidth with other users, with a dedicated service, you specify the bandwidth you want and the ISP will guarantee you a 1:1 contention ratio. This means only you will use this bandwidth. Dedicated internet services are generally more expensive than shared services, and your ISP will give you a set of public IPs with your service, and the option of getting more public IPs if you need them for an additional fee or sometimes for free. They may also come with some value-added services like email services or voice services. Should be noted though, the value-added services may come at a cost. While shared services may or may not come with contracts, dedicated services will almost definitely come with contracts. When looking out to buy a dedicated internet service or even a shared service from an ISP, consider these things. Number 1, the bandwidth. Determine how much bandwidth your business needs. If you're not sure, a good place to start is to buy a small bandwidth and upgrade your service incrementally until you are where you're satisfied with the user experience. You should only upgrade though if you can confirm that the user experience is bad because of bandwidth constraints and not that the ISP is giving you crappy service. If you end up buying more than you need, you can always downgrade your service to the appropriate bandwidth. Now for shared services, you can start with a lower tier package and upgrade your package based on user experience. Number 2, get quotes. There's a saying that if you're not shopping around, you could be losing a lot of money. Don't ask me where I heard it, I just know it's a saying and it applies to buying any kind of service. Get quotes from at least 3 providers and compare their pricing for the bandwidth you're looking to buy. If you have your heart set on an ISP but their pricing is higher compared to the others, you might be able to get them closer to your budget by A, letting them know how much your budget is, and B, letting them know how much their competitors are willing to offer you for the same bandwidth. Number 3, user experience. Now ask around, find out from other businesses what service they use and how it works for them. It might prove best to talk to businesses that are in similar spaces as you. Ask other businesses and people who use the ISPs you're interested in what their experience is like. You'd be surprised what you can learn about ISPs from people who already use their service. If an ISP approaches you or you settle on an ISP, ask them for references, or look for other businesses already on their service and find out what their experience is like. Don't restrict yourself to questions on service alone. Find out what their customer service is like, what their support is like, and what their response time is like. Number 4, support. Find out what each ISP offers in terms of support. As a guideline, they should at least have a dedicated 24/7 Network Operations Center, or NOC, customer service department to handle all your issues, and a dedicated account manager to you to help you with your upgrades, your downgrades, and anything that has to do with your service. Number 5, value-added services. Find out if your ISP will give you other services like email services or voice services with your internet service. Number 6, contracts. It goes without saying, you should read through the whole contract and make sure you understand all the terms and conditions before you sign. If you're not comfortable with doing it yourself, get a lawyer to go through it and explain everything to you before you sign. As a rough guide though, always look out for these things. Number 1, the contract duration. How long are you going to be paying these people for? Or how long are you obliged to stay with them? Number 2, service level agreements. What are the agreed levels of service they will provide to you? Number 3, an exit clause. Always make sure there's an exit clause in your contract. This ensures that if you're not satisfied with their service, you can get out of the contract at any time. Number 4, bandwidth guarantee. Make sure they state in the contract what they're going to be offering you in terms of bandwidth. It should always be what you subscribed and with a contention ratio of 1:1. Number 5, conditions for terminating a service if the reasons are not for unsatisfactory service. Typically, the exit clause has to deal with unsatisfactory service. If they're not providing what they said they would, then you can get out of your contract based on the exit clause. However, you should make sure there's a condition in there that allows you to get out if for any reason you need to get out of the contract and it's not for unsatisfactory reasons. For most ISPs, this means you will pay a penalty of perhaps 3 months, 2 months, or a month's monthly recurring cost, and then you can get out of the contract. We'll discuss contracts more in another video. Hope this guide was helpful. Please leave a comment if you have any topics you want us to cover. We'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe.